Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Crank Addict, and this is the channel for crank addicts like me and hopefully like you. Today we're working on the Jimmy still, and I'm trying to get the jambs painted so I can put the doors and the tailgate and all that stuff back on the body so I can, start doing some exterior body work. So let's get going. Check out the little reinforcement plates that I made for the striker. This does two things for me. One is that it reinforces this whole piece of metal here so it doesn't tear out. This one here was torn when I bought it, and I welded it up and smoothed it out, but it's going to tear again. So this extra, I think this is 16 gauge steel. It's going to help to reinforce this area. I cut it at a dimension similar to the body tag down here, so hopefully it looks more factory. I did plug welds to hold it in place. I'm going to seam seal the outside of it so it looks factory, and we'll see how that looks. For the painting, we'll use Eastwood's epoxy primer, followed by a little bit of sanding primer. I think we're using feather fill. A little more primer to seal it up, and then sublime green metallic pearl for the base coat, followed by a couple of coats of clear from PPG. Let's get mixing. Okay, for this Jimmy, I'm going to be using Eastwood's epoxy primer in white. As you can see, it's very white. And this is the same stuff I used for the Maserati and other projects. See, the Jeep took it, as well as some other things. I can't think of them all right now, but I like their epoxy primer. It's easy to spray. It sands like crap, but I think all epoxy primers sand that way. And overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I marked it here, old, because this stuff has got to be 2 years old now. So anyway, let's get to spraying and we'll see how it looks. Alright, well, we had some video problems and my primer videos didn't quite come out. Something happened with my GoPro and the file was lost. So anyway, back to the video. Alright, well, I had a little issue with my Eastwood epoxy primer, and it's all my fault. I bought this primer back when I was working on the firewall, which is about 2 years ago, I guess. Amazing how time flies. And the activator wasn't very good. So I ordered some new activator, but this first layer of primer, this epoxy primer, sagged on me in a couple areas up here and over here around the latch assembly. So I'm on him with a little 400 grit sandpaper. I've had to let this thing dry for a week because the activator was so bad. But now it's set, so I'm going to sand it down and get some color here. Just smooth it out. Don't go through the epoxy. Here we go. This is the driver's side door, and I had a nasty paint reaction on it. So I'm going to have to sand this guy back down and reseal it and do it again. All right, well, I don't know if the camera was rolling when I sprayed this green down, but here it is in all of its beauty. Okay, it's not super shiny right now, but that's gonna be fixed real quick once I hit it with the clear. It looks pretty good on the camera. But yeah, it's really gonna pop once we clear coat it. So let's mix some paint. All right, well, I am using the Shopline PPG clear coat. It's a European clear coat, and I feel like it lays down pretty well. I'm pretty happy with it. Sprayed it with a Maserati, sprayed it with the, no, I did not use it for the Jeep Wrangler, but yeah, it laid down great on the Maserati, and yeah, I'm gonna stick with it. Okay, so I've got one light coat over this green now, and you can see it's starting to really pop. This one I put down a little bit heavier because it's flat. Got some dust in it, go figure. All right, so it's been an hour and a half since the second coat was applied. That is looking pretty slick. Most of the fumes have left the garage, but you know, it's still a little funky in here, so I'm not going to stay here too long. So I am going to give this a couple of days to dry before I try to reassemble anything. I've got a little bit of work to do on the boat, a 41-foot Chris Craft. Those are some interesting videos if you guys want to check those out. It's funny that when you see this much stuff in green, you have to wonder to yourself, did I choose the right color? Well, it's too late now. We're gonna go for it. guess first with the towel in there. See how you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right there, I think.
All right, I'm pushing up high. You ready? That was my hand stuck there. Okay.
Open it.
Pull it out, and we get the rug out. How do we? I'm going to just leave that.
Cover this. I think this one is more tight than
Yeah.
the other side, but I guess they're all the same.
It's weird because
Okay.
it gets tight here, then it spreads back out there. So it could be something wrong with the door. It might be a little thick through there. Or maybe
You can like sand it. If you sand it, will you have a little hole?
yeah, I'll
like
have
a little
hole
crack.
if I sand it. Yeah. All right. Well, this is a little bit annoying. I thought I had this door set pretty well, but now we have it mounted. I like this gap here. It's real nice down here on the bottom. Show it here. Down here on the bottom. Looks good at the seam, but then it gets tight right through here, and then it opens back up again. And since this is a reproduction door, I'm betting this is not quite straight across here. But I've already worked the inside. I don't want to have to repaint this corner here, so at this point, I think I'm just going to leave it. It is what it is. Okay. All right, so we're fixing to install the tailgate, and I've got these brackets loosely mounted in here. These brackets are adjustable forward, backwards, and a little bit side to side. And the tailgate itself is adjustable up and down. But once we get this thing mounted, we need to make sure we get our straps on there as quickly as possible, because without these straps, this tailgate can flop down and hit the frame and do some serious damage. So we'll be sliding this in, starting with the bolts, and attaching the straps. It's got a double bolt.
Slide it.
Yeah. Slide it inside all the way.
Okay.
So you see the bolt holes line up. And then we'll get it started. You know what? These would be really nice to have with some tape. Let me, because these are easy to swap around later. It'll save the,
Here. I can hold it.
it might save the paint a little bit. Maybe.
You want to tighten them.
Yeah. Just gonna snug them up. That's pretty close. Just a little more tightening, but all right, let's carefully raise it up. Watch the corners. Watch the edges. We're good. I'm plenty of room over here.
It's pretty good right here.
Okay. Paint stick distance. Can you push that little cable inside? Is it hitting?
No, it's not hitting.
Okay.
No, it's just sticking out. On top, it looks smaller than the paint stick.
Smaller than a paint stick.
Yeah. But I like the gap the way it looks sometimes.
It's pretty tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about the same over here.
Yeah, I like the way it looks. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah. It's the same.
And
Okay.
look at the
line-
bottom. Look at the bottom here. We need to make sure this is lined up flush. That looks pretty good here.
This one, it looks a little bit forward.
All right, well, I made a quick mistake, okay? These are the return helper springs for the tailgate, and they will not fit once the tailgate is installed. So I'm going to loosen up the 4 bolts here, actually probably remove the 4 bolts, slide this hinge assembly out, tuck this guy back down in there, put it back in, and hopefully it lines back up. Well, we finally got these springs installed here. So it doesn't hook them right there, but when you start to drop the tailgate down, oh, hang on, it's not grabbing it. I need some adjustment. All right, I've got these things adjusted now. Just gotta kind of play around with this front adjustable bolt. So as you drop this tailgate down, it doesn't rub on the main spring. but it rides close enough so that the hook doesn't dig into your, what do you call this, the catch, the bolt. So you're just trying to get a nice, easy, hopefully noise-free slide until it actually grabs, and then I'll drop this tailgate. So, yeah. That's pretty squeak-free, so I'll go with that. All right, so here's the money shot of the interior, right? Green, 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 we're getting there. So, next episode, we need to tackle those wheel arches again. Remember in the last episode, we found some rust that we were not expecting there, so we'll be cutting those out and patching in 2 new panels so we can finish body working this truck and let's get this thing on the road. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button, and always, peace out.